All right, guys, you guys have about 90 seconds here to go grab your waters, go to the bathroom, grab your snacks, pull up a chair, get ready to go. You have 90 seconds, guys. We'll be right back.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with P-Dub, Jong Shin, with a live video. Let's get it started.
Hey, everybody. Guess what? Happy Father's Day. And today is Sunday, June 21st, 2020. And you are tuning into another episode of the Loft Report, your arcade and gaming podcast show. With me, as always, is my boy, Carl Detroit Love. What's up, Carl?
Happy Father's Day, everybody. Great day.
Yes. And with us is the CEO, founder of iiRCade, Jong, or as he's known in the professional wrestling circuit, Jong the Experience Shin. What's going on, Jong? How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Happy Father's Day, everybody. I'm so glad to be on the show.
Thank you.
Yes, happy Father's Day. I know, guys, it is Father's Day. You want to spend time with your families. If you want to watch this on replay, by all means, let's do so. But we wanted to bring you a special show on the holiday. And guys, I'm a dad too, and my son's waiting for me as well. So we're going to do whatever we can to get you in and out of here within the hour. I have a couple of surprises for Jong, and if you stay tuned to the end, I think you guys are going to like what P-Dubs is going to pull out of his magic hat. We're going to ask Jong a lot of questions. We got some stuff we got to get out of the way first, right? Now, Jong, as you guys know, is coming up with a new product. It's called the iiRCade arcade gaming device, and this is a legally licensed game arcade device where you can you're going to have an app store where people can legally purchase ROMs, additional games to add to their platform, which is really, really cool. Now, this is going to be a Kickstarter project, Jong.
Yep.
So I have to ask you the tough questions out of respect for my audience. They've asked us a lot of good questions.
Yeah.
So let's get that stuff out of the way. That way we can focus on all the really cool stuff coming out from the iiRCade brand. So for instance, Jong, this isn't your first Kickstarter, is it?
It's my second.
Okay. Care to tell us a little bit about what happened with the first one? What was it called? Hoppy?
Happy.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. So, so this was a device where it brews the best tasting beer for you, right? What happened was back in the days, I was working for a company called LG.
Mm-hmm.
I was a VP of innovations there. And out of a couple of the devices that I was working on, one of them, and which a project that I brought in from outside, was a product that basically makes a beer. And we had our vision and everything. And what happened is that the company is extremely political and has ethics that I did not agree with completely. So they were asking me to copy things, and I was supposed to be innovating. So I couldn't take it, and especially the project was going nowhere. People were pushing me to do expensive devices and charge
Mhm.
people a lot of money, and I didn't agree with that. So I
Mhm.
said, forget it, I'm quitting. So I quit. And then after I got out, I was playing with other things. I'm a techie guy, right? So, and I found a brand new way, completely different way of making this happen. Very, very cheaply, the way that
Mhm.
I wanted to deliver to my customers, right?
Right. Right.
And we did this. We made it. We did a proof of concept. Everything worked great. We developed on it. We got our funding, and we made it happen. We made it successful, right, in Kickstarter. And what happened was that company was very angry that I was able to make this happen successfully outside of the company.
Mhm.
So they sort of commissioned the police organization to steal my technology, try to steal my technology.
And this all happened in South Korea, not in the
It
United States,
South
correct?
Korea, South Korea.
South Korea. Okay,
Yeah,
different world over there, folks. Different
yeah,
rules.
completely different world, extremely political. There
Mhm.
are lots of unethical things going on over there, unfortunately. But anyway, so they failed on their project miserably, and we were successful. And the guy who was responsible for the project, right, the new guy responsible for the project, he needed a scapegoat, so he blamed on us. And they saw it, we were successful,
Mhm.
and they got really mad, and they try to take our technology utilizing money, corporate bullying. So I shut the campaign down because I didn't want to give them my technology. It was something that we did. So I shut it down, and with the rest of the money that we had, and plus $60,000 of my own money, I refunded everybody as much as I can, right?
Right. Right.
And we did our best to make it good at the end. So, but this is a very sensitive topic for me because
Sure.
it's something that was never expected. You know,
Yeah.
corporate bullying. That's something that I don't agree with. So
Yeah. So basically, the long and short of it, correct me if I'm wrong, Jong, if I
yeah,
understood you correctly. You were working for LG. LG
yeah.
was working on a similar device, the Hoppy technology, right?
It's a
And
completely different technology.
a different technology, right?
Yes.
And unfortunately, you said, "Hey, I think I could do this on my own a different way." So you went and you started your own business venture,
It's a
and
little different. So I
a little
couldn't take.
different.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't take. I didn't agree with their ethics
Okay,
and the direction, and they were pushing us away from what we were trying to do. So I quit. And then there's a little. So I went to work for my cousin who was running a drone company at the time.
nice.
and then I was playing with this and that, and I found a brand new way of making this happen, a much cheaper way. So that's why I started it from complete fresh to make this happen. And later on, they found out that right, I was able to make this much better than what they were doing. So they
Right,
tried to steal our technology. So I shut it down. Again,
right,
that was the only way to protect our IP.
right. And you refunded as much of the money as you possibly could, including $60,000 out of your own pocket.
I
Uh,
went broke afterwards.
right. Well, Jong, I understand that with legal stuff,
Yeah.
there's probably even some more details you probably can't discuss, and I don't want to put you in that position. I think that explanation is fair, but I have to ask because now you're starting this new venture, and
Yes.
my audience wants to know. They're interested in your product,
Thank you.
but Kickstarter gives them a natural worry, a natural concern. What kind of assurances can you give people if they participate in the Kickstarter? Let's say the Kickstarter goal is not met, or something happens along the way and you can't get this thing launched, Jong. What kind of assurances can you give my audience about what'll happen after if that situation arises?
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So first of all, our company is very well backed by venture capital. So we're not doing this for money, right? We're doing this so that we can provide a opportunity for our fans to be able to get this at a much cheaper price. Second thing is, right, in order for us to be able to go to the really big companies, right? Well, we've been talking to them, and basically they're looking for sales data. This was our other way to show them the sales data before we launch, so that we can get their games, right? So more successful Kickstarter is, right, all the big games that I want to have and you want to have on our platform, we'll be able to get them much easily. So if the campaign fails, then I'm in trouble with VCs. So I have to make it happen, right? But the other good thing is now that because we went through this, I went through the Kickstarter thing once. At the time, I didn't know anything about Kickstarter, so everything was new to me. Now, Kickstarter, I know from very, very well, right? Which means there's a lot of lessons learned. So one of the big lessons learned is that I've already executed with iiRCade is I've created a complete separate bank account. All the money that's coming from Kickstarter is going directly to there. We're not going to touch it. We're not going to touch it. So if something happens, that money goes directly back to your pocket.
Nice.
And if we're able to make it happen, that fund only goes to manufacturing, nothing else.
Okay. Carl, do you have any additional thoughts or questions for Jong on this particular topic? I must say I'm happy to hear that if something happens, because this money's in a separate account, that it would be refunded to those who participate in the Kickstarter. Jong, I'm really happy to hear that personally. Carl, any additional thoughts?
Well, I just have thoughts on Kickstarter. It's a platform that I've used many times over, and we understand using that platform that it's not a pre-sale. It's not a you're not guaranteed anything through it, but it's also great to have assurances that that they're going to make the money available if for some reason it doesn't happen. So that's not something that has to be done with that platform, but it's great that you're going that route and learning from your mistakes. Like I said, Kickstarter is great. I've purchased many things over the years. There's very few things that haven't come to mark out of Kickstarter and other similar platforms. So it's a great way. I understand that you could have done this different ways. You could have done pre-sales on it, but I understand the reason why you do Kickstarter is to get the publicity and to have your numbers out there in people's faces like, hey, this thing has happened. I can do a pre-sale and those numbers are hidden. They're behind the scenes and no one knows whether you're making up numbers or you can say whatever. So Kickstarter is a great way to make it public, everything that you're doing public, and have the fans and have the people interested along for the whole ride. So I think it's a great thing, and I think you're going about it the right way.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yep. And we're seeing some positive feedback in our chat room, Jong. A lot of folks appreciate the fact that you were willing to talk about this, even though technically you didn't really have to. And also, too, with court cases, guys, there's some stuff that you simply can't talk about for legal reasons.
Yeah, a couple of things I will mention. First round of court case, we won in a huge way. They also said LG didn't have a right to make this happen. So they'll do this to us, right? So I think that also proves too. But so this is one of those sensitive topics for me, pretty emotional because these are used to be my friends who's doing this to me. So
it makes me think of like Steve Jobs, right? Like he started plenty of ventures that failed. I mean, and for various reasons they failed, not just all the same reasons. So we all have passions, we all have hobbies. So for instance, I collect comic books, I collect arcades and retro games. If I wanted to work for myself, I would probably own a comic book store. But what if that failed? What if I started it and it failed? I would probably pursue my next hobby, like make my own arcade, right? And maybe it'll be successful, maybe it'll fail as well. That is what's called being an entrepreneur, folks. You're rolling the dice. You don't know what's going to happen next. Jong, you've earned a lot of my respect by being open and honest and talking about this with my audience.
And I really appreciate the understanding as well from everybody. Yeah. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Now that we have actually gotten that out of the way, guys, I'm ready to have fun. It's Father's Day. We got another. You okay, buddy?
Yeah, it's a sensitive topic for me. So
hang in there, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna get you laughing here in a minute, guys. It's time to have some fun. We got another arcade machine hitting our arcade rooms, or arcade lofts, or arcade basements, arcade dens, and we're gonna talk about it and provide you the information you need if you're willing to participate in this project. So, guys, for instance, let's go ahead and let's show you a little teaser about the iiRCade. And Jong, I have a very important question for you. The minute this video ends. So guys, 60 seconds of your time, guys. Let's go ahead and get this playing.
Thank you.
What if you could play all the modern games and classic games you love on a single device that takes you back in time? This is iiRCade, an upright gaming cabinet that combines retro gaming experiences with modern technology. From indie developers to major gaming studios, iiRCade puts the control in your hands and lets you experience gaming at home like never before. This is iiRCade.
All right, Jong, here's the $1 million question.
Sure.
Is it iiRCade or is it iiRCade, buddy? Because if I got my hands on your product, I was going to dress up like a pirate and do do my review as iiRCade and have it pirate themed and all that kind of stuff. Can you clarify it for us? Is one of those eyes silent? What's going on, buddy?
No, that's my $1 million question for me as well. Initially, it was meant to be iiRCade, but we see that it's very hard to pronounce. At the same time, if we go iiRCade, then that I sort of gives the idea that it may be from another company that has the I moniker, right? So it's still up in the question, but right now, I'm like, whatever is best for you, use that, and then that'll eventually turn into the right way to pronounce.
Okay. So, all right. So, even if you want to call it iiRCade, can I still call it iiRCade? Can I still dress up as a pirate while I play this thing? Would that be hilarious or what?
Yeah, but you have to dress up as a pirate, though.
Now, guys, so something to note here is that Jong is a really, really nice man. Him and I have talked on the phone several times, and I do appreciate you, sir. And what's funny is I was talking with Jong, and I was like, I want to support the Kickstarter, and when we get to the end of the broadcast, after I show you guys a couple of surprises, I'm going to tell you my exact reasons why I'm going to support this Kickstarter. And I told Jong, even though I have a YouTube channel, I don't want a free unit. I'm not doing this for a demo unit or anything like that. I told him I will pay for my unit to support him and get another company. I think we need another company in the market, right? Because it makes everybody better, right? Innovation leads to better. If Jong's product is successful, Arcade 1UP, Act Games, Toy Shock, all these other companies take notice, and it leads to better toys and products for all of us, right? So, well, then again, I guess I just said what I was going to say at the end, but that's why I'm going to support. I don't think there should be just one company. I believe in options, right, guys? I don't believe in monopolies at all. I believe there should be options. So I would love for this to be successful. That way we have what we call freedom of choice. So you just choose what's best for you. Either you want this platform or you don't. So I think that's a pretty fair way to say it. Now, let's kind of pull up some specs, Jong, because you did make some last-minute changes, and I know you're excited about this, including the fact that this thing now has 1.21 gigawatts worth of speakers pre-installed, right? Here, let me see if I can get this pulled up for you here.
While you pull that up, I just want to say P-Dubs is a much nicer guy than I. I've talked to him several times, and he's amazing. And same for Detroit Love as well. These guys are amazing, so I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate it. The other thing is, I totally agree with many players in the market. In fact, I personally believe the three players in the market have completely different value proposition and people who are being targeted. So I think these are three very different products. So, and again, more option is great for consumers. So I just want to bring that up. I personally believe these two guys are not my enemies or competitor, but I think they're friends who will help us to grow this market, because I, as a gamer, I want to really grow this market because I love games and I'm going to be playing all these games too. So, we're friends who should be making this and growing this together. Just want to.
I love that. Carl, what do you think about Jong saying, hey, you know what? Instead of viewing these other companies as competitors, I view them as friends who are trying to grow this market to keep retro gaming alive. What do you think about that, Carl?
Well, you know my motto is all about options. For many of us, we hadn't had arcades in our basements or in our homes. We've been wanting these for years, and the more the merrier. Like I said, the most thing that I find interesting about John's proposal here is that, and I said this on a previous podcast.
Mm-hmm.
When I was really into Palm Pilots, when Palm Pilots came out, I thought they was the most innovative product. I think if HP hadn't bought them out to kill them, they would still be around today. But the thing that was very difficult when they first started was it was not easy to get apps onto those to those devices. And when the iPhone came out, having that built-in store where you can buy additional products right on the device was innovative, and it made it simpler. A lot of us techie guys will jump through hoops, and usually we jump through the hoops so that it makes it easier for the rest of the masses coming behind us to actually use the products. But for people to be able to get onto arcade and click a few buttons and download a new game, it's going to be a lot of people that love that convenience, that love the ability to add those games on the fly. So I think it's an awesome thing to the market, and it's not available today.
Yep.
Okay.
So, Jong, real quick, because we got to cover a lot of stuff you covered in your last 2 live streams. We got to condense them down to 40 minutes here, buddy. So,
Sure.
So taking a look at your specs here,
Yes.
what changed from what we knew previously, and what should everyone be aware of about your specs?
Sure. Thank you so much for that. So first of all, display aspect ratio is depending on how you look at it. Some people say this is 4:3. Some people say it's 5:4. If you do the math, it's 5:4. The reason why we picked this is because we're trying to play both horizontal and vertical games, and this was like the resolution that had the best experience to play both. So that's why we picked it. CPU, we initially had 2 gigahertz, and we went down to 1.8. The reason is because the 2 gigahertz CPU had a very, very low manufacturing yield, was less than 10%, less than 10%. And in order for us to be able to meet the manufacturing demand, we had to go for a SKU that was able to meet the demand. And if we went down by 0.2, then it would be over 80% yield, so we would be able to meet it. And we tested every single game that we had very in detail, and we found that none of them actually reached 2 gigahertz anyway. So this worked out. And in addition to that, we said, hey, let's do GPU, 800 megahertz max quad core, because on games, GPU is extremely important, as you know.
Yeah.
So that was that. And we also announced Bluetooth. We added Bluetooth. So
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
So that I think there was a lot of demand for wireless Bluetooth headset, and by enabling Bluetooth, quote unquote, it gives us the enablers to do a lot more things in the near future. But with software updates. So we added that, and then we have now both wired and wireless Bluetooth support, and we also added HDMI out. There were a lot of good requests from the community, so we listened to you. We added that, and also audio is very powerful part of the experience. So we added a power amplifier that supports 100 watts. So we're going to support. We increased our audio output from 80 watts to 100 watts. It's going to be amazing.
No, Jong. That's 1.21 gigawatts of audio power.
I'm sorry. I forgot that I added plutonium there as well.
Yeah. Great, Scott. Great, Scott. Yes. Guys, this thing comes with a flux capacitor. It's what makes retro gaming possible. That's right. So this is really cool, Jong. I'm liking the improved specs. I like HDMI out for TV. A lot of guys who like streaming or capturing footage will be able to easily do this on your platform. I like having a 19-inch screen. I like having 64 gigabytes of storage. But can you confirm something for me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's say you're the kind of person, you load this thing up, right? You max out your internal storage. What happens if they want to add additional games, but they don't have storage? Is it kind of like Xbox and PlayStation where you have to like uninstall a game, but you still own it? Is that how it's going to work, or how's it going to work?
So that's a great question. Thanks for that. So if you have like hundreds of games in there, there must be games that you don't play. So you can delete it from the device, then you can always download it later on for free of charge. So you own it. Once you pay, on iiRCade, once you pay for it, you own it forever. And quite honestly, I've tried installing all the games that we have, and I still have space. So it's bigger than you think.
Yeah. I mean, I've loaded up a flash drive with 4,000 arcade ROMs, guys, and it only took up like 28, 29 gigabytes on a 64 gigabyte flash drive. So that's a lot of games that I'll probably never play. So there you go. But the modern games, Jong, this thing is going to have the ability to play a lot of modern games. Those are much bigger files, right?
Yes.
And that's what made me worried. Like, what happens if I just don't have enough space for those modern games?
Yeah, Great question. Thanks for that. So modern games, the biggest that we've seen so far are, I think it was like a gigabyte, a little bit over a gigabyte. So if you just load on modern games with the biggest file sizes, you can load it up to like 64 games, right? But again, lots of games that, right, bigger games with bigger sizes are normally like RPGs. And RPGs, once you solve it, then you will probably not play again for a while. So you can probably remove and get something else. But even modern games too, lots of games are pretty small in size because, right, what takes up the space in the drive are pictures and graphics and things like that. And RPGs have a lot of cutscenes and things that are bigger, but like platform games and others, those are mostly computational driven games. So the sizes are much smaller.
Yeah.
So,
and John, I have a question. I'm an old head, so when I look at arcade, when I think about arcades, I'm thinking about Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, those type of things. So help me understand what would be an example of a modern game.
Thank you. Great question. So I have 3 different classifications. One is, of course, the retros that we love, nostalgia. The other one are sort of contemporary games like first-person shooters, Dead Effect 2, for example. Or if you've seen our Riptide GP Renegade, that is like really great PlayStation 4 graphics, jet ski game where you can play 2 players and race. Those would be what I classify as modern games. And then there's a third one, which I call it neutral games, right? These are 2 types of games. One of them is the great retro games that are upgraded to modernized with modern graphics and things like that. And the other one is modern games that with retro graphics and retro sound and retro play. We support both of them. And these are amazing arcade experiences that you have to try. They're amazing.
Now, we do have a couple. Now, guys, I have a whole ton of questions I'm going to ask Jong. Some of the questions you guys have been putting in the chat, same questions I had previously thought of. They're on my list. But there's a couple here, Jong, that people are throwing in the chat. If you can indulge me real quick.
Of course.
Will it be possible to upgrade the memory, if not on launch, but down the road? Is that possible?
That's a great question. Memory is embedded onto our circuit board. So it will require circuit board change to make it happen. But one thing that we're looking into is we'll be continuously upgrading our specification. One of the things that iiRCade is great is upgradability, right? So all our components are componentized. So for example, if you want to change, I don't know, display, all you have to do is take out your display panel and put it in a new one. Very easy to do. Same thing here as well. Later on, if you want to just change your motherboard, then you just have to swap a motherboard component, swap it in. And there we may have bigger memory. We'll have to see what happens in the future, but because iiRCade is so flexible, lots of things are possible on the device.
Nice. And here's another great question. By having a 19-inch monitor, does that mean perfect pixel size with no black borders, or will there be any stretching of the image or smoothing effects?
Great question.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. So many of the games will support as is, right, native, without black borders. Some black borders that I see are like vertical shooters. There will be, unfortunately, black borders. But great thing about how we design our product is that if you look at our device, the bezel on the device is black, right? And that will blend it very well with the black borders on the screen. So it will look like it's just black, right, all over the place, and the screen is vertical. That's how it will look like.
Okay.
So we try to minimize that as much as possible by utilizing that.
Right. Now, with that Bluetooth capability, Jong, is it just for audio, or can people also potentially hook up additional controllers or things of that nature?
Great question. So having Bluetooth enables us to do a lot of things in the future. To start with, wink, wink, wink. To start with, it's Bluetooth audio.
Okay. Okay. But what's cool about having a connected platform is we might see an upgrade, right? Might see some kind of firmware change or something.
Yeah, and we plan to do a lot of giving you a lot of new features down the road.
Oh, so you're going to keep adding things via the Wi-Fi capability. Does this thing have? This has Ethernet too, right? Or does it not?
It does not have Ethernet.
Okay.
Because we only wanted one connection to the device, and that's power. but it does have 802.11 AC, so it's got the fastest internet.
Yeah, that's the top one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when this thing, let me put something here on the screen here for folks who maybe aren't familiar with your product. The Kickstarter is going to go live June 23rd at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Did I get that right, Jong?
Yes, and the scroll thing's nice, by the way.
Yeah, isn't that kind of cute?
Yeah.
And guys, if you have a Kickstarter account already on your phone or on your PC, just go to Kickstarter and just type iiRCade in the search bar and you'll find it. If not, that day, you're going to be providing everybody the link, correct, Jong? The exact link.
Yeah, as soon as you have it, you'll have it.
Right. But yeah, so June 23rd, 11 a.m. Eastern, guys. Man, it's 8 a.m. my time, Jong. You're making me wake up early. Search iiRCade, okay? And also, guys, Jong, something that you were talking about during your last two live streams, you're talking about doing something a little special for folks who've been following you on Facebook. It's something about this iiRCade.rocks website. Yes. Can you spill the beans here, man? What's going on?
So that link is meant to use as a communication tool between myself and our Facebook followers. Especially, for example, if I'm like late to Facebook Live, then there was no way for me to communicate. But we do have we're thinking about some Easter eggs. So yeah, but at the same time though, I will need to close out the sign-up sheet pretty soon. So if you are interested in becoming a sort of a Facebook Live family member, then you can sign up.
Now, we got a great question here, and I think you kind of demonstrated this in your Facebook Lives when you were playing more modern games like Dead Effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
You use it. This thing does have twin stick capabilities, right, John?
Absolutely.
So, like when you're playing that first person shooter game, you can with the left joystick, player one, you were moving your character. With the right joystick, you were aiming your gun, much like you would on a controller, right? Is that correct?
Yes. And one thing that we have is a patent pending quote-unquote technology, where based on what the game is, it'll adjust the joystick setting for you automatically. So if you're putting on, just making this up, Robotron, for example, then it will shift to twin joystick mode and things like that. Yeah. So you don't have to even worry about setting it up and whatnot.
Right. And don't forget, guys, make sure you stay tuned to the end. I got a couple surprises for Jong. P-Dubs is going to try and make something happen for you.
Oh, nice.
Now, I got some more questions. Now, my community, they've bombarded us with questions. We're going to try and get through all of them, right?
Sure.
So here's an important question. Does this thing save high scores? That's
a great question.
Yes.
I can tell you this. Initially, depending on the game, right? Initially, it will do whatever the game is programmed to do.
Okay.
But in the future, we have some great plans that we want to do with scores.
Oh, are you talking leaderboards?
Maybe.
Oh, look at that.
I'm not saying anything. I just said maybe.
See, this is why P-Dubs is the detective here. We're gonna guys. I think we just confirmed it. All right. Now, Jong, what about attract mode? Is there going to be an attract mode on this thing? If I just let it sit there in my arcade room and I haven't touched it for 5 minutes, will a cute attract mode pop on or anything like that?
What is an attract mode?
Like a track mode, like a screensaver video or anything of that nature?
Oh, great question. Thanks for that. Right now, it will power save for you. So it will go into sleep automatically for you.
Okay.
So that it saves power, whatnot. And if you click on the power button really lightly, it just comes back up automatically like this. So.
But what's really cool is with firmware update capability, John, you can add a track mode later on, right?
Of course, absolutely. Anything's possible. That's the reason why I say anything is possible, because it is very flexible platform.
What were you going to say, Carl?
And I was just saying, John, you can see behind me, the games are sort of advertising themselves like, hey, come and play me. And that's the effect of track mode. I think that's one of the nice things about arcades. You walk in an arcade and you have all these sounds and these different things, and they're calling out to you. So I think that's something that's, if it's possible to look at, you might want to consider that to at least give people options, because some people don't care. Some people do. So If it's an option, they can turn it on or off.
Yeah, thanks for that. In fact, I am listening a lot to you and everybody in the community. So if there's something that you want to say, please let us know. We'll get it in. We are one thing I say we're different from other companies, like big companies especially, right? Is we're not doing this just because we want to make money, right? We're doing this because we're gamers and we're very passionate. We're doing this because of passion, which means our passion is your passion is my passion. So if there's anything that you want to see, we're gonna make it happen. So please let us know, and of course we have to prioritize them, right? But we'll make it happen.
Okay.
We listen to you. Yeah,
that's wonderful. Go ahead,
John. I have a question now. I'm a little different when it comes to my arcades. Multi-cades. People like multi-cades because they like the options. They like to be able to. They don't want to just be stuck playing one or two games. But I'm a type of person. Like I have a Galaga, whichever way it is, Galaga over there, and that's a multi-cade, but it only plays vertical games. And then I have the Street Fighter here. That's a multi-cade, but it only plays the landscape game. I personally don't like to play vertical games on landscape and vice versa. Any idea with a future product where maybe you can rotate the screen? Since you're going with non-traditional arcade designs and shapes, is that something you've ever considered, to be able to rotate the screen so that you can play horizontal games and then rotate it and do vertical?
I'll start
obviously not with this product, the current product, but down the line.
I will start by saying that you guys are extremely smart. You guys are asking the right questions, and I think I don't know. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but genius think alike. If you know what I mean. I'll just answer it with anything's possible in the future for now.
Okay. Now, some of these games like Evoland, Oddmar, that you'll be able to purchase and play on your machine, I'm actually personally excited about. However, those games take a long time to play, Jong. Will your machine have save states? Will we be able to pause and come back later?
Yes, thank you. So we have a generic pause button. So the menu button also doubles as a pause button. So if you press it, it'll pause, and you press it again, it will unpause when you're back. And also those games especially will save. They got the save buttons built into the game, so you won't have to worry about that.
Good. So we're going to get a pause button and save states. I like it, John. I like it. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, John. This Kickstarter is going live, and when it goes live, the first thing that's going to happen is people are going to start saying, "Well, when's it going to ship?" Can you let us in, Jong? What are your target ETAs?
Absolutely. So, love the question. Right now, we are targeting October ship. I say start ship. Right,
October.
But of course, again, there are always caveats, right? So, for example, if we're right now going to be going through our government certification, right, in next 2 to 3 weeks or so, and if everything goes well, here is October, right? If there's something fails, then we have to go back and redo the PCB and fix the issues and things. That may take some time and may cause delays. We're not expecting it again. We've done the testing a couple rounds already, so it's looking good. But again, anything can happen. The other thing, if there's, like, for example, pandemic or political issues, and let's say, right, all shipments are blocked coming to the country, something like that we don't foresee. But and also if there's any bugs that we find that we need to fix, something like those that are really unexpected may, quote unquote, cause any delays. But other than that, we don't see it, and we're targeting October.
Okay. Now, it's important to note that you are going to be manufacturing this in South Korea. Is that what I heard on your?
Yes. So we have a marvelous factory in South Korea. They got over 30 years of experiences making only the premium arcade cabinets, and they make a lot of gaming products, right? And they've done some really, really good ones. They're premium ones, and they're making it over there. It's one of the reasons why we chose to go with them. And in South Korea, the quality of product has improved dramatically, I think, in the last 20, 30 years or so.
Right.
Especially this factory is best out of the best in terms of arcade cabinet goes.
Because you mentioned on your stream the factory building this machine for you has had experience building arcade machines in the past. Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Good. So we got some folks who know what they're doing. So when it comes
Definitely.
when it comes to quality, not a scratch on it, right, Jong? No
Of
dents,
course.
no
They've been,
dents, no things.
oh, that's a human issue, right? But from a manufacturing perspective, they've done a fantastic job.
Right.
Now we will make sure that we have good packaging so that it doesn't get damaged during shipment and everything. But yeah, they're very experienced.
Okay. Now, a key item that a lot of folks like is they love their trackballs, Jong. They love their trackballs. They love their spinners. I know you said with the Bluetooth feature, we'll have the ability in the future to potentially add accessories like additional controllers, like Xbox controllers and stuff. But what about that, Jong? Will there in the future be a way to get trackballs and spinners on this thing, or what can you say?
Thank you. That's a great question. So, and by the way, those are hard questions. But here it is. Basically, if you look at our list, we do have a few games that take use of trackballs, yes. But but putting a trackball is going to increase the price of the device. So the question is, would I increase the price of the device for you when there's only a couple of games that utilizes it, right? So the decision made was, let's focus on what we're doing now. We will focus on the greatest arcade experience ever. And then we'll be, of course, like we said, we'll be continuously licensing new games, right? And when the time is right, and right, then device is modular, so it's upgradable. So we will definitely look into getting a panel the right way, with right experience, to our fans.
Okay, go ahead, Carl.
I have a question. So a lot of times with these platforms like Kickstarter, sometimes you have milestone incentives. So it's like, okay, if we've reached $10 million, we'll add this, and if we hit $20 million, we'll add this. Are there any plans for any milestone improvements to what you are initially proposing if you reach a certain monetary value?
Stretch goals, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's a really good question. Great question. And we're discussing that with the team right now. And we have some amazing ideas. But because these are none of them is locked down at the moment. We just started talking about it. So when we get it, we'll definitely let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jong, let's keep it moving. We still have a lot more we got to cover.
Sure.
And we want to make sure we get all this in. So, pre-launch, there's going to be 170 games officially licensed. And does that mean, Jong, on day one, if I was crazy enough, I could go buy 170 games, or will they kind of be implemented in waves on your application? How's that going to work?
Thank you. That's an amazing question. So we will have, so our target is to have 200 games licensed for launch, right? And we are testing every individual one individually. And so unless the game is tested, the game is tested, and we are satisfied with the results and things, we're not going to release it, right? So the games, we're going to try to test and release as much as possible by our October date, by the time we get the devices. But if we're not done with some of them, then we will probably have to wait a little bit on those games until they're tested. But we'll try to get as many out there as possible on day one.
Yeah.
But again, if we don't, then it's going to be shortly after. And again, we'll be continuously licensing new games, so the list will increase.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did see that on the last slide. It said you're hoping to have around 100 on day one available for purchase.
I say minimum 100, but
minimum
we're going to try to more. Yeah, I think we can hit 100.
Okay. Now, with your game pricing, you revealed this week that some of the games could be as low as $2.99, but the average ballpark price $4.99 to $14.99.
Yes.
Are those prices similar to what all these games would go for on like Steam or the Android store or things of that nature?
I think it depends. So, for example, many of these games may not be on Android store and things. But a lot of the games that we have are going to be very comparable. So we try to balance it so that it's there. At the same time, these games are not all Android games, right? Many games are from arcade again, but many games will be coming from other consoles, like from latest consoles ported over to our iiRCade platform. So not all of them are Android games. So, and even if they're Android games, many of them are optimized specifically for our device, right? And of course, some of them will be bringing it directly, right, so that we can get you to experience and enjoy the games. But especially because there's a lot of work that's coming in involved, and these prices are not set by us. It's set together with the game publishers. So some of these games, game publishers may want to charge a little bit more, right? Because they're putting a lot of effort to it, which I think is fair. But these prices will be extremely affordable and extremely reasonable. Again, so far from everything that we have gathered so far, I think it looks like most of them will be between $4.99 and $14.99, with a lot of them under $10. So I think it's very reasonable.
Yeah. Now, before we talk about the games that are going to be preloaded and why these games were selected in particular, Jong, question in the chat: will you in the future consider having the ability to? Is it possible to swap the control deck? Maybe change it from a 2-player to a 4-player, or change it from a 2-player with just sticks and buttons to a 2-player with a trackball and a spinner or something of that nature. Would you consider it? Is that going to happen? Guaranteed? Or I'm gonna trap you here, buddy.
I know you will. It's a fantastic question. I love that question. Let me just say that when we built iiRCade from day one, it was built with customizability in mind, right? So from technological perspective, swap out is definitely possible. It's capable of doing it. The question is, will we do it? I'll let you know. Anything is possible in the future.
That means yes, guys.
Oh man, I love it.
All right. So, Jong, tell us why you picked these 10 games. You got a mixture of modern as well as retro games on here, and of course, your headliners are Dragon's Lair, Double Dragon. But let's be honest, guys. Beach Buggy Racing is fun. Same with the Snowboard Championship. That's a great game as well. Tell us why you picked these games. And you know what I've noticed, Jong? You've gone this entire show without using the word experience. So I'm going to let you use experience on this question if you want.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, I didn't know that I was called the experience. I've heard screw money before, but
well, Jong, I don't know if you know this, but me and a couple other guys, we would take a shot every time you use the word experience in other
really?
your live streams, and that's why hopefully we still provided your information accurately after the fact. So I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing, Jong.
I love it.
All right. So, Jong, why these games? What made you pick these?
Yeah, thank you. So several reasons. Number one, when you first turn on, press the power button and turn on for the first time, I wanted you to say wow, right? So that's where we put a lot of focus in. So for example, Dragon's Lair, obviously, right? Double Dragon, obviously. If you look at like Beach Buggy Racing, for example, it's a game that will really wow you. This game is a latest version from our latest consoles. So the graphic wise, it'll wow you. The animation wise, it'll wow you. The audio and everything. It's just a great experience. Gumbird, this is a classic shooter, right? So etc. etc. So we wanted you to say wow, first of all, and the other thing is we want you to also experience what discoverability, how this awesome discoverability is, because you may not have heard of some of these games, but when you play, you really like it. That also happened to me as well and my team. And the other thing is, of course, we wanted to give you 10 games without 10 games. And guess where that number came from, right?
Don't blame me. Don't get me in the middle of it.
I didn't say anything.
I said minimum 10. I said minimum. You could have gone 50. No, I'm kidding.
I think I missed the word minimum. I thought you said maximum. But anyway, and I wanted to do that without increasing the price of the device, because I really, really, really didn't want to increase the price of the device. So it was done that way as well. And there are a couple of reasons where I'm drawing a blank right now. So
It's okay.
but,
It's okay.
yeah.
So, Jong, we got now, guys. The big surprise that I'm going to throw at Jong is coming up. Make sure you stay tuned, guys. We've had a lot of folks join the stream late. By all means, make sure you go back and watch the replay, especially the first 10 minutes or so, where Jong did talk about his prior Kickstarter and the situations there, what happened, and why he feels that we should be able to participate in this Kickstarter and order with confidence. And Jong, it's important to note, especially for the folks who just joined late, Jong did reveal earlier in the show today that if for some reason that this Kickstarter is not successful or doesn't get launched or of that nature, the money will be refunded to the people who support the Kickstarter. Correct, Jong?
Yes, we already have a separate bank account where
Right.
all the Kickstarter money will go into a separate bank account that we're not touching it. That's either for manufacturing or going back to you. And
Okay.
most likely it'll be for manufacturing.
Okay. Very
John,
good. Go ahead.
John, I have a question. Now, will some of your games have like dip switch type functionality where you can change, say, a Double Dragon to be easier to play or harder to play? Are those things that you're considering?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking. Initially, no,
Okay.
but that's something that we're thinking about for the future. Oh, maybe I should have just said anything's possible in the future.
It's okay.
Yeah, but this is definitely something we're thinking about.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
Thanks for
now, Jong. Unfortunately, I don't have the slide with the Kickstarter pricing for the bundle. So
Oh,
my
it's okay.
apologies, guys. That's my fault. That's not Jong's fault.
No, it's my fault.
I was supposed to have it loaded, and I don't have it.
No,
So just so the viewers can know, Kickstarter $2.99 for just the bar top, but you are going to bundle in the base as well, correct? For a different
Yes.
price. Can you walk us through that? And my apologies, guys. I don't have the slide. That's my fault.
No, actually, guys, it's not his fault. It's my fault. I'm not sure if I sent it to you, but I'll take the blame. But anyway, it'll be $2.99, $3.49, $3.99 for the bar top tiers, and for bundle tiers, it'll start at $3.99, $4.99, $4.49, $4.99. I think, yeah.
Okay. And that'll get you. So there's going to be different tiers as we go, right?
Yes, and these are all basically just by how Kickstarter works. It's all
Right.
first come first serve.
Right.
And we're trying to have as many units that we can do as possible. And that's just an FY between you guys and me, right? $2.99, we're losing money, right?
Right.
And I want to deliver the right experiences to you. So that's why I want you to provide this tier and with enough number of devices as well. But at the same time, we probably won't be able to accommodate everybody. So if you can make sure to just come quickly and grab it while it's there. Right.
Okay. All right, guys. So I got some stuff here. Let's start having some fun. Let's start building the hype and the excitement here. So taking a look here, right here, this video clip compilation. And by the way, guys, go to the youtube.com/the iiRCade YouTube page. And you guys uploaded a video that explains the Kickstarter, and it has all the different tiers, the spreadsheets, all that kind of stuff. And man, I love spreadsheets, guys. I absolutely love them. So it's got all that stuff there. Go check it out. That way you know. Plus, it'll all be on the Kickstarter when the Kickstarter goes live. It'll say, what do you want to contribute? So what I have here, guys, for you first. Now the fun is going to begin. Is I got a video compilation here of all the various games that will be available on the iiRCade platform. It's about a minute and a half, so just bear with me. After that, though, I'm going to hit Jong with a surprise, and I need your guys' support, so don't tune off.
mental rage. Justice, truth, and the planet of...
Very cool, Jong. Very cool your team put that together. And yeah, there's a lot of fun looking games and games we know, some games we may never have heard of included on your platform. But a lot of us, Jong, in this arcade space, we love retro games. We love those retro classic titles. You're not going to have those on launch day, Jong. What's it going to take from the community for you to bring the Capcoms, the Segas, to get those publishers on board? What's it going to take to make that? Will we see those in the future?
Thank you so much. We are talking to some of them, actually, many of them. And basically everyone's, no, I won't say everyone, but a lot of them are saying the same thing. And that is, show me the sales data, right? Because, right, they're big companies and it's the numbers that count for a lot of them. So the help that we can, so if we have more people joining our family, right? And that we can take that information to the companies and say, hey, here you go, look, you probably want to come in, right? If we are able to hit some great numbers on Kickstarter, I would think they will probably want to come in. They'll go, can I come in? So
hopefully.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I think this is a dream that we had initially. And I think I want to make this a dream that we all can share. And we all are making this dream happen together, right? So if you can help us to help increase the family number by doing referrals, etc., word of mouth is very powerful, and we have more people joining. That it gives us that weapon that we can take to these companies and bring those games in. One thing that for sure is that these companies really, really love what we're doing. Especially helps them to remove piracy. That they're having a lot of problems in the industry. With those devices that have like 30,000 games in it and 10 versions of the same thing, right? And the other thing is they really love the experience that we're bringing with the powerful audio and integrated experience. There it is, word experience on the device. So everything is looking good. We just need the numbers to show them, and we're golden. And this is where we can get your help. We want to ask for your help, and let's make this happen, dream happen together.
Right. All right, guys, it is surprise time. So Jong surprised all of us earlier last week when he announced that he got the licensed partnership from the publisher Dragon's Lair. So that's a big title. I think he really needed to have a big title included as a preloaded game, and also Dragon's Lair will be preloaded, but also Space Ace and what's the other one? Dragon's Lair 2. Those two games will be available in the store, correct, for purchase later on?
Yes.
So how hard was it for you to get that Dragon's Lair license?
It was pretty hard. It was very time consuming because working with what's the best way to put it? These companies always take a lot of time, and there were a lot of things that were going back and forth and things like that, and that took a long time for us to make happen. But from difficulty perspective, one of the good things that we have on our side is the quality of the product and the experience that we bring. And what I do is I give them some demo videos of what we have, send it over to them, and they fall in love with it. So far, I'm like 100% on that right now. They really love the experience, and they want to bring this experience over to our device. And that made it helped us to make it happen really quickly. But the negotiation part is always difficult, and these companies always take a long time. But we were able to make it happen. And I think that's why it counts, and I was very happy with it.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Jong, I got to do this. I got to do this for the community. Jong has no idea that I'm going to do this, guys. This is going to be a complete surprise to him. But I want your feedback in the chat, guys. And Jong, let me explain something to you, right? Yeah. You know we're friends, right?
Of course.
So I hope you take this in the most polite. I mean this completely with respect and politeness. Your original design for this machine, it looked like a giant iPhone, right? Me and you talked about that, right? And then you switched it to what you folks see on the screen. It's orange, it's blue, it's cute, and all that stuff. But Jong, what I think would help is you put some vinyl on this thing. You put graphics for one of your licensed games. So my question for you, Jong, is now I had a graphic artist put this up. I had a mock made. Let me know in the chat, guys. Would you be more interested in this product if it looked a little something like this? And Jong,
Wow.
would you be willing to make this happen
Wow.
for the community? Can we get a poll from the crowd, guys? If the iiRCade, now keep in mind, this is a mock-up. It's not a perfect rendition. What do you guys think? Would this excite you? Would this happen? Guys, let's talk him into it. Let's make this happen. If you ask me, Jong, I think this looks pretty cool. Now, keep in mind, it's not
awesome.
perfect, but it's pretty awesome. Guys, let's take a poll. Press 1 in the chat if you want a Dragon's Lair theme on your iiRCade. And Jong, let me take it off the screen real quick. That way we can see your reaction here. Hate to put you on the spot, brother.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
But I'm just trying to help. I think that if you put some licensed artwork on this thing, it's going to be even more successful. I have a feeling you're going to be successful, but this will be even more successful. Let us know. Guys, I'm seeing nothing but ones in the chat, Jong. The community is speaking.
Oh, really nice.
Is it possible? Will you make this happen? Did P-Dubs make this happen?
So the surprise wasn't a new car? But I love it. We should talk about getting you in as a designer. You're awesome. But one thing that I want to let you know is that we're listening to you. And again, I want to make this dream happen together, which means your feedbacks are extremely important for me. So if you tell me that this is what you're looking for, we'll take it seriously.
There you go, guys. It's possible that by the time this thing launches, it might look like this, or it might look like this. What about this, Jong? What about this?
Nice. Oh my God.
Now, I'll be honest, guys, Dragon's Lair is cool, right? And that's the headliner included. But if you ask me, guys, this kind of artwork on this cabinet, it just makes it so much better. And I had this drawn up as well, Jong. This is my other surprise for you.
Nice.
What do you think, Jong? I know you love Double Dragon. Let me know, guys. Let me know in the chat. Press 1 if you want Double Dragon, or put comments in. Let me know if you want Jong to put this artwork on the cabinet. P-Dubs is trying to make it happen for you guys.
Let me also ask you for one more thing.
Sure.
Press 1 if you want Dragon Slayer. Press 2 if you want Double Dragon.
Oh, there you go, guys.
That's the other one that I'd be interested in knowing.
But wait. What about, can they press 3 for both?
Yeah, 3 for both.
All right, guys. Do you want to have vinyl graphic options? The ability to pick as this thing gets ready to be delivered to you, like which you want to go with? Double Dragon, standard, or the standard iiRCade, or the Double Dragon, or the Dragon's Lair, or do you just want one or the other? These are a couple of mock-ups I had drawn up. So there you go, guys. That is kind of what it would look like. I would assume, obviously, Jong has to go through the publisher and get approval for this. The publisher has no idea that I was going to drop this on Jong today. And then, of course, but I'll be honest, guys, I'm really digging this one. I think that would look great, and I would be happy to have that in my arcade loft. What do you think, Carl?
You just changed my mind. Yeah, I mean, it looks awesome, and that's just the reality of with arcades. It triggers something in your mind from as being a child or a teenager, and so if it hits home with you, it's just a sentimental buy, right? It's not just I have to have it, I want to have it, I need to have it now, so that's the key. And how do you pick the right one,
Right.
to do that? But I think that's a great start. I think both those things look awesome. I know another game that I personally don't have a whole lot of experience with, but looks like your platform could play Killer Instinct. I know a lot of people out there are always looking for a Killer Instinct. So even if you did a sneak preview that your system can even play Killer Instinct, I think would change a lot of people's minds as well. But that's the whole thing about this platform, man. It's about having fun. It's about reaching people that enjoy, that want to have these things. Like I said, I didn't have these things behind me in just 2 years ago, and back then I looked at building my own or buying this, and there was just not a whole lot of options. So the more options out there, is going to get people to have these arcades in their home and to be able to just walk up and enjoy playing, because that's what I do. I enjoy playing. I don't buy them for artwork. I don't buy them to sit there and look pretty. I buy them because I love playing them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic, Carl. Thanks so much for that. And Jong, he's right. In this community, to tug on the heartstrings and the strings that are connected to the wallet, it's got to look like this, baby. And I think we can make this happen, guys. Jong, make it happen for me, will you? And if you can't because of licensing or something of that nature, guys, keep in mind if for some reason Jong can't make this happen for publisher reasons, right? Jong is going to try and make this happen. But if for some reason it can't happen, we could always do this ourselves. We have other aftermarket guys who make vinyl graphics for our iiRCade. So if you don't like the look of it today, you could turn it into something like this or something like this, right? So it could look that way. However, Jong, you're going to make this happen for P-Dubs, right?
Of course, anything for you, my friend.
There you go, guys. It's a done deal.
And that's the awesome thing about the third party involvement, because people are just so passionate about it. I mean, most of these things that I bought didn't look like this when I took them out the box. You know, people made these marquees for Galaga and for Street Fighter, you know, and since then, Arcade One Up have made them available because they adapted to the market. And so we all know that this thing is a moving, organic industry. And I'm glad to see that you're in it and getting your foot in here and getting getting our appetites built for this new product. I'm excited about it. You know, like I said, your product is non-traditional, but like I said, I welcome any player that's going to give me options to be able to enjoy and have fun playing these games that I grew up with.
Thank you so much. We'll make sure we make that happen.
All right, guys, it's Father's Day. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And I know you guys want to be with your families. I have to be with mine. Jong, Carl, thanks so much. I know you guys are fathers as well. So, you guys want to get to your families and everyone else in the chat. Hopefully we entertained you. Hopefully we gave you some facts. Make sure you go back and watch the entire episode if you joined late, because there was a lot of great information given by Jong in the beginning. I'm really happy to hear that this is going to be a no risk or low risk Kickstarter that if it doesn't work out, you will refund folks money. But I have a feeling, Jong, that with your passion and energy, this could turn into something for you. And I would love to see more options. The more options, the better. It'll make you better. It'll make Toy Shock, Act Games, Numbskull, Arcade One Up, New Wave Toys, Well Played Arcade. It makes everyone better the more players we have entering this market. So that's why I will support and pay my own money. I've already told Jong, don't send me a demo unit. Don't send me a review unit. I will pay my own cash because I want to support what he's got going on. All right, guys, that's what we have for you. Jong, any final words you want to give to the community before we say our final farewells?
I want to say thank you, because we couldn't have made this happen without you, and especially without your support. And I want to make sure that what iiRCade stands for. I don't know if you guys knew, but what I and II stands for is I as in me, and second I is for you, right? You as an I. So this is a platform that's supposed to bring both of I's, you and I, and everybody together. That's what it means. And this also means that iiRCade as a company, I want this to be a company where that is made by you and me together, and it's a company that's made by the community. So I want to make sure that we're one team to make this dream happen together. And again, I am saying a really huge thank you for all your support and helping us to make this happen, because that's exactly what it was. So I want to basically say that let's make this dream happen together, and we will really appreciate your support and help to make this happen. And especially with that, as our platform grows, we'll go get the games that you want, and right, and we'll make this an awesome dream that we can proudly say, I made it happen. And all of you can say, everybody here can say, I made it happen. That's what iiRCade company as a company stands for. So let's make this happen together, guys.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Carl?
Aye.
Aye. Any final thoughts, Carl?
Like I said before, I just welcome you into this arena. I hope you're successful.
Thank you.
Looks like a lot of people are interested in the product and definitely want to learn more about it and get their hands on it. Again, I'm excited for the options that are available. I'm excited for the future of arcading. I'm excited for the retro. I'm excited for the modern. I'm excited to get people off their couches and up and playing and having fun.
I'm just excited, guys, because if this happens, or if this happens, y'all can blame good old P-dubs. And if it doesn't happen, you can blame me anyway, so that's fine.
If it doesn't happen, you can blame me. But let me know when it's your birthday, Patrick.
My
Maybe
birthday's May 3rd. May 3rd. You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Oh, really? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Guys, make sure if you're new, hit that subscribe button for Detroit Love, hit that subscribe button for P-Dub's Arcade Loft. I got a lot of great stuff coming your way. We're just getting started, baby. And Jong, thanks so much for joining us. And Carl, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. I hope you guys have a wonderful Father's Day.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and giving up a little bit of your Father's Day. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. Until next time, we'll see you on the web.